Hello and welcome to yet another Primetime Mentor episode. Now, as you all know by now, it's always my endeavor to interview and converse with an individual who's gone out of their way to follow their passion and to convert that passion into a successful, fulfilling, lifelong career. And I'm really, really happy that not only do I have an award winning photographer today, but the ingenious, innovative methods that he's adopted in order to continue to pursue his passion, which is photography, monetize it while simultaneously honing his own craft is quite remarkable. And it serves as an inspiration to many young people who want to also get into a similar sphere of work. I'm talking about ace photographer, award winning photographer Abhishek Hajela, who's been awarded by Nikon. He works regularly with the best organizations out there, from National Geographic to Traveler. His roster of work and his repertoire of photography is enviable. And what he also does, which is very interesting, is he leads photography tours across India with groups of tourists and photography enthusiasts from all over the world as well as this country. And that's really how he's been able to continue his passion, grow his passion, and make it an extremely lucrative, sustainable, and successful career. And that's what we're going to chat with him about. Welcome to the show, Abhishek.
Thanks a lot, Karthik. Thanks for such a great introduction. It's a pleasure to be here, and I'm
Uh,
looking forward to our chat.
Likewise, likewise. And my introduction, I meant every word of it. And truly,
Thank you.
since I've known you, you've been an inspiration. And I hope that a lot of youngsters, especially, watch this interview and also feel the same. So, Abhishek,
Thank you.
I usually start my interviews by asking my guests to tell us a little bit about their childhood and growing up years. Where were they? What were they like?
So, my growing up years, mostly I was between Delhi and Agra. My two most important classes, which were my 10th and my 12th, they were from Agra, and rest of my schooling was from Delhi. And I was in a hostel for some time in Shimla, and then I came back. And for my college, I went to Vellore, which is VIT Institute of Technology. I was there for some time, and then I was almost like a college dropout. I came back, and even in my growing years, I was a very, what they used to call that time, a very weak student. So I was not at all good in studies. I was always the last one in the class, and at that time it was a big thing. The teachers used to ask that, okay, who scored the last? So you were always embarrassed in front of everyone that, okay, you are the last one. So yes, that was my growing up years, and I was not a good student. Even in sports, I was not very good, and nor in my studies. But yeah, but I had very, very good friends, and I think we really enjoyed our time in school and college. So I don't regret anything. But yes, it was a time when you were really told that you are not a good student at all. So that was my growing up years.
Now, two questions come immediately to mind, Abhishek, and you've been very sporting and honest about sharing your childhood and the fact that you were an academically weak student. But
Yes.
by your own admission, जब तुम कहते हो that you were constantly told and reminded of this fact that
Yeah.
you're not a good student, you're not a good student, did that must have somewhere impacted you negatively as a person, and maybe it made you feel as if doubt yourself a little bit, your self confidence took a bit of a beating. ऐसा कुछ हुआ?
Yeah, definitely, especially till the eighth standard. It was really a big thing, and I knew that I'm not a good student. And so, yeah, it was really a big toll on my confidence. It was really, really low. And I think it's the whole system which was like that. And everyone, even my family, was, telling me that, oh, you're really bad in studies, you have to work hard. So it was so much pressure from everyone, and then that, oh, you are not good. No matter how hard you study, you are still probably the second last or the last in the class. So yeah, I think it was really bad at that time. But I think when I came to my ninth or 10th standard, by that time I think somehow you get mature and you just feel, oh, I don't care anymore. So there was a time when you were scared of your teachers, and then when you go in ninth or 10th, then your teacher starts scaring, not scaring from you, but they feel, अच्छा यार इसको कुछ नहीं कह रहे, जो करना है करने दो, you know.
Absolutely, though.
So yeah, then I was not concerned. I was just having a great time. I mean, my 10th and my 12th, I had a ball. I was not worried about कि ठीक है जो होगा होगा, we'll see what will happen. So I really had a good time, but yes, still I was not a good student. So yeah, actually it really impacted on my confidence, and I was not at all a confident student
How
all the
did
way
you
till.
how did you deal with this lack of confidence? How did you because you said that by the ninth and 10th you were okay and you had sort of in a sense recovered from this and you were having a great time. What made you recover from your lack of self confidence and what made you? How did you deal with it?
I think I would say a big role was the school. So I changed my school because, of course, the school told me to, we will. I mean, in eighth, I was almost failed. So they said that now you cannot continue in our school, you have to change. So I think that was a good thing, because when I changed the school, so the other school that I went in Delhi, it had a very easygoing atmosphere.
Okay,
And the school that was I in, it was very structured and very serious, and
right,
the teachers were very serious. But in the other school, it was a bit mellow. So
right.
then it really helped me, and I made really good friends, and that really helped me. So yeah, and
Okay,
slowly,
okay.
and when I
Uh,
went to, yeah, no, go ahead.
no, no, please continue.
No,
And
I
then
was
you
just
will.
saying, and when I went to Agra, it
Hmm.
was just another story. In Agra, everyone is so chilled out, and they don't care what they score in their 10th or 12th, because all my friends were merchants, and their father had shops, तो उनको तो अपने shops में ही बैठना है.
Right,
They were not concerned कि कितनी percentage आ रही है, बस pass होना है. That was the only thing.
right,
So then it was really a chilled out atmosphere for us.
right, right. Okay, fair enough. Now, I know we digressed a little bit, and because you admitted that you were constantly told you're a weak student, that's why I spent so much time there. But actually, what I was also trying to ask you on a more serious note, Abhishek, is that while growing up and while you were at school, were you always creatively inclined? And what I'm also trying to ask you is that ये पूरा photography का bug, when did it bite you? How did you get exposed? How did you get attracted? And were you a creatively inclined child growing up?
So I would be very frank here that no, I was not a creative child, and I was not inclined towards creativity or painting. I was really a bad painter in school, in our painting classes or in our art and craft classes. So I was not that exceptional student there. I was really a very average student. But I think it was when I joined my first job, which was in a travel company, which is still family owned travel company. And then what happened, in my starting years in that organization, a big group of American travel agents were coming to India, and they were doing the Delhi, Agra, Jaipur. And it was almost 100 people. So I was asked just to go with them and see what's happening. So it was like 7, 8 of us from the office. We just went to see, to organize that everything is okay. So one of the lady, I still remember her name. Her name is Sylvia Welsh. So on one of the days in Agra, she told me that, Abhi, today I'm not feeling well. Can you take pictures from my camera? And I took pictures for rest of the trip, and they came out pretty okay. I mean, now I can say that they were not that good, but yeah, they were okay. And one of the in my office there was a lady. Her name is Parul, and she told me that these are really good pictures, and I would use them in my brochure and things like that. So you should continue to pursue this hobby. So even
Okay,
at that time,
very quickly, Abhishek, before you go on,
yeah,
approximately how old were you when this happened?
I think 24, 23, 24.
Okay, because it also gives me an opportunity to tell our audience and especially younger people who are watching that there is, and I keep saying this all the time, there is no expiry date to
Right, right,
figuring out
definitely.
your passion, guys. Because
Yes,
somebody who is now such a well-renowned and respected photographer was not necessarily drawn to that pursuit since his childhood. He only figured it
mm,
out and almost stumbled upon it by default at the
yes.
age of 23, 24. So this is a living example of how it doesn't matter at what age and stage of your life you figure out your passion. Yes, please continue.
Yes, no, I think that's really a very good point, and I always say this also that ऐसा नहीं है कि बचपन से if you're creative then only you will become. So yeah, I just stumbled upon it, and I was very lucky. And then I asked my dad that can you buy me a camera. So my parents are very very low key, they're very easygoing. So they said yeah, it's okay, you can take a camera. So I started shooting, but yeah, it was really really difficult in the beginning because I was not sure what I'm doing, and everyone around me thought that it's just a camera, he don't know what he's doing. So then even at this stage I had no clue what I will do. I just had a camera, and every other weekend I would go to Agra or Jaipur, take some pictures, and it was going on. And I was still working in this travel company on a desk. I was in a desk job, doing taking care of the files and things like that. So then what happened after probably a year later, a very big photographer, his name is John Isaac. Now he retired as the head of UN, head of photo department from the UN.
Okay. Okay.
And he was coming to India on a photo trip with the people who wanted to learn from him and who wanted to see India. So at this time, I had a little bit of interest in photography. So I told my, super boss that can I go with them on this photo trip? So they said, no, Abhi, you are too junior. You cannot go with them. So that I thought, okay, that's it. I cannot do anything. But as they say that what happens has to happen. They
Yes.
cannot stop it. So then what happened? The normal guide who was with them with the group, so he called my super boss after 3 days in the trip कि ये photographers ने मेरे को पागल कर दिया है, ये एक एक monument में 5 घंटे ले रहे हैं और इन्हें हर जगह जाना है, मतलब मैं नहीं कर पाऊंगा, I don't want to do this trip.
Correct.
And he said I'm coming back, Umesh, I cannot do it. So then his name is Umesh, my super, he was the VP at that time. So he called me that Abhi, would you like to join this trip? Because at this last moment, we don't have anyone who can go with the group. So, it was like Neki or Pooch Pooch. So I
Absolutely.
said, yes. I mean, there was no two ways about it. So I went to Jaipur and I met John, and that's it. I mean, that was the starting point of my photography career. We really hit very well, and John really, he believed in me that, okay, Abhi can do well. And by nature, John is very positive, and he started teaching me from that very trip. And, then he started coming I mean, every year he would come once or twice, maybe thrice. And every time I would travel with him and he will teach me. So even at this point, uh, nothing, I mean, I started taking better pictures, but nothing great was taking place. It was just that, okay, I will wait for John and he would come and then we will travel together. He will teach me.
But
And
but
one,
but you had very much found a mentor in him,
yes, yes.
and that was the relationship that you guys established, and that's how it was going. Because also, I would have asked you this a little later, perhaps, but अब ये context में बात आ रही है,
Mm,
so I might as well bring it up. You know, there is a lot of debate, especially when it comes to the arts, whether it's
mm,
photography, singing,
mm,
painting, filmmaking, where there's this constant tussle between do you really need to go and study it, or do you
mm,
not study it and you just learn on the job and start
mm,
working as early as possible? So, especially in your case, since you had stumbled into it and you didn't really have any formal education in
mm.
photography, it was all that more important to have found this mentor, right?
Definitely. And what I did when I was when I got a camera, I did a very short, like a weekend course,
Okay.
just to know what buttons are
Hmm.
for. The basics, you should know what you are using. So I did a very
Yes.
small course, so I would know कि किस situation में camera कैसे use करना है, but it was not a formal training. It was just like 5 classes.
Right.
So, I mean, everything has its own advantages. Now I see that students who go to film school or students who go to a photography school, I mean, yes, they know a lot more. But then I think when you're on the job, it doesn't matter. If you are good, you are good. And I see there are many good students who have done like 5 years of photography or whatever, and they are not good. So it's all melts down to when you're on the ground, can you take good pictures?
Sure.
And I think it's all more than that, it's all about practice. The more practice you do, the better you become. There are
Yeah.
no shortcuts.
Absolutely. So anyway, so yeah, sorry I interrupted you. Get back
No.
to John's visits, and then what happens? How
Yes.
does it progress?
So now I was very clear that okay, this is the path I want to take. I want to become a travel photographer. And I was very, very strong in my head that okay, this is what it is. This is what I want to do. So at this time, I was also in my career, I was at that point where if I would do well, I will start getting promoted in my company and I will start making more money. So at this point, John gave me a very, very important advice, which now I feel is all the more important. So he told me that Abby, if you start doing well in your company, they'll start promoting you, you'll start making more money, but at the same time you will have less time for your photography. So now
Sure.
you have to choose between money and photography. So it was good for me in the sense that I was not performing well in my office. I was really a average employee. They were not happy with me. But the good part is that I had no responsibilities. I had a very basic salary which would pay my bills.
Right.
So, but I had all the time. Every weekend I would go out, I would shoot, I would practice. I would not miss any fair. I would go to all the festivals, Pushkar Fair, Holi, whatsoever would be there. I would just fly, or I would take a car, or I would train, or whatever. So because I had time and I was not going after money. So I think this was a very important advice. And I see that this is the biggest thing that why most of the people miss it, because they feel that nahi hame paise bhi kamane hain. So then the two things cannot go side by side. You cannot feel that nahi hum paise bhi kama le aur photography bhi kar le, apna art bhi kar le sath mein, passion bhi. So I think I chose my passion over money, and it takes time. I mean, it's like a leap of faith, and
Absolutely.
so it takes
Absolutely. You know, I keep
yeah,
saying, and we keep talking to our other guests also about the many sacrifices that one has to make in
yes.
order to pursue and realize one's passions and dreams. And you certainly made that very, very tough decision, but I'm glad you made it. Lots of questions are coming to my mind, Abhishek. I'm going to ask them one by one. Please be a little patient.
No,
Now, when
please.
you were in this stage of having made the decision, ki, bhai, nahi, I'm not going to take these promotions and I'm going to focus on my photography instead. Did you feel at this point at all that maybe you should go and study it formally?
No, just because I already at this point I knew that what I'm doing, and
Okay.
John was a very good critique. Also, he would always critique, and he was always tell me that no, this is not right or this is right.
Right.
So he was always on point. So he knew, and he told me that you are doing well. You don't have to formally. You got it right. So now
Right.
you don't have to study it. So at that point also I was just concentrating on building a strong portfolio rather than
Uh,
going into a school and studying it
Got
again.
it, got it. But apart from working on the field physically, and you said that you were attending as many festivals and events and
Mm.
just shooting like a madman essentially and
Yes, I
growing
was
your
doing.
portfolio. Apart from that, was there anything else you did? Did you do some self study? Did you read some books? How did you, what else did you do to sort of make yourself into this rounded, well informed photographer?
No, then what happened at that time? By that time, I think Facebook started coming up, or yeah, I think so. So then I started making friends who were into photography. I started going into all these walks. And then by that time also I had other people started coming from US who were interested in photography, and we will shoot together. So and I started talking to other people or other photography mentors who were in Delhi or Bombay. So I was
Mhm.
trying to figure out how to get into that circle of photography. So eventually I
Right.
was there. I was talking to all the other photographers. We would go for walks and things like that. So that started happening. And on the other side, many of my American clients, they were coming to India, and I would go with them, and that was taking care of my monetary part. And then
Sure.
I was, and then other thing, I feel that when you start your passion in a very dedicated way, it takes a little time, but then things
Falling in
starts
place.
to fall in place, and you start getting small jobs. As I forgot to mention a very big thing, that to survive all this, I also started doing weddings,
Mhm.
because wedding is something which can give you quick money,
Sure.
and it's not something that I wanted to do, but I did it because also it's a lot of practice. And
Absolutely.
again, John told me that you should do everything. You should not be just a travel photographer or just be a wildlifer. You should do everything, and
Right.
it will only more practice will make you a better photographer. So I
Right.
started doing
So
weddings.
I want to quickly add at this point again. This gives me such a wonderful opportunity using Abhishek's example, who was already becoming an accomplished photographer, but he had no qualms about going and shooting weddings, whether it
Hmm.
was to continue honing his craft or to get that extra quick money. And I've spoken to some very senior authors, for example, who talk constantly about the importance of having that day job, where
Hmm.
you'd have a very successful and seasoned, respected author who's teaching writing at a college or something, and it's so
Hmm.
important to do that. And in that
Definitely.
same vein, if you were shooting weddings, that's all credit to you. And I want to tell youngsters, and correct me if I'm wrong, that there's nothing. You don't become lesser for doing something like that, and you must do it. In fact,
Yes,
don't think
definitely.
that oh my god, I'm this hotshot photographer who only shoots fashion, or who only shoots travel, and how am I going to go and shoot a wedding? But it's so important to have that exposure and that experience as well. It humbles you, it gets you
Right.
money, and at the end of the day, you're shooting, so you're only improving
Yes.
your own skills.
Yes. And even in weddings, you can show your creativity. At that time, they were only traditional photographers. So probably, they had never seen like a journalistic type of photographer doing a wedding. So it was really good for them also to have very different kind of images. That
Correct.
candid
Candid.
photographer was a very new thing at that time.
So you are on your way. You're working
Hmm.
constantly with John. How does the sort of the big Nikon award come
Hmm.
about? I
Yes.
remember meeting you in Bombay when you just received it, and it was such a
Right.
wonderful occasion. How did that come about, and what did that mean to you?
So now I was, as you mentioned, I was traveling a lot, doing a lot of festivals. So I still remember it was the Kumbh Mela in Haridwar, and it was close to Delhi. So I would go every other week. I was there, and everyone in my office was very upset that, oh, he's not in office, he's always traveling, and all that was taking place in the background. And I still remember this was a very big day at the Kumbh Mela, where the naked saints or Naga Sadhu aake us din snan karte hain. It was really a big day. And I was in this press chamber from where we could shoot, and we waited almost for 5 hours for them at one spot, because if you leave your spot, someone else would come and then he won't leave,
Sure.
and you have to be there. So I was there 5 o'clock in the morning, and ye Naga Sadhu wahan pe aaya around 10:30 something. So almost 5 6 hours we were there waiting. And then I took this image and I submitted in, Nikon have this World Photography Award every year, where they get participants from all over the world, they participate, and then the prizes are announced. So then I won the International Nikon Award, I won the Emerging Talent Award, and that was the time which was, it was really a big award, and every, like, John was very proud, my parents were very proud, and everyone who said that, oh, he don't know anything or he cannot do it, they were now kind of, they were proud, and they started taking me seriously, that okay, he can do something, because this is a big award. And then they invited me to Bombay at NCPA, they were doing an exhibition, my picture came in newspaper Hindustan Times. So this was the time when you know that, okay, fame has started knocking at your door. And now my parents was showing my that paper to everyone that okay, this is
Right.
our son and he's
Right.
in
So there was
newspaper now.
I think perhaps for the first time since you were in your entire life, by your own
Yes.
admission, being a weak student, being an
Student.
average employee, and now for the first time, not only were they proud, and you, I'm sure yourself,
Yes,
were
yes,
hugely validated. It was a big
yes,
validation
yes,
for your
definitely,
own
definitely,
sacrifices and the path that you had chosen.
definitely. So it was a big, and now I mean, at this point, I was 100% okay. Now from here, there is no going back. I have to do this. And that was the point when I left my job and I thought to myself, okay, I have to go fully into this. I cannot do this job and then do this. Again, when I left the job, I had no work for almost a year. And then again, leap of faith works, and I just got a call from someone, and they were looking for a photographer, and this was a guy who ran photo trips to India. And then I met him, and then my photo trips started taking place more often. So now it was not just John. I had these other photographers who were coming to India with their participants, with their fans, and I was organizing their photo trips, and I would travel with them. So then this became my main uh, place where I would earn my money from. I would organize these photo trips. So you're meeting new photographers, you're taking pictures with them, you're traveling to new places. So it all was really, really nice, and it all fell in place.
Yeah, because I mean, it sounds really like the best of all worlds, where
Yes, yes.
you had finally gotten to a point where your passion was also your profession.
It took its own time, but it I was very, very lucky that I was able to do this, and I was able to pursue my career, and I was able to make money from it. And that's what I'm
Right.
doing right now also. I'm working with a lot of newspapers also, or magazines also, but this is the main thing where I'm getting my money from, and I'm really enjoying it.
Right, but I think, I mean, and I think you would completely agree with me that two things, or three things rather, patience, hard work, and perseverance are probably the three things that have really, you have stuck by, and that's how the universe rewards you,
Definitely,
and that's
definitely.
how things happen. Okay, tell us a little bit about how you became associated with organizations like National Geographic.
So again, it was they were doing a very special issue on spirituality in Varanasi, and it was like an open invitation to put your images, and then they would select. And I had this very beautiful image of naked saints standing in a row, and it was from a long lens. So then they selected that image, and that image came on the cover page of National Geographic Traveler India in 2017. So that was also a very, very it's like a high point of any photographer to be in Nat Geo and to be on the cover page.
Yeah.
So that was really a big thing in my career. And then I met the editor, and we became very good friends. So then he gave me a lot of gigs. He told me, okay, go to Jordan, cover Jordan for us, cover Africa for us. I went to Kenya. So then I think, it just, you start getting more and more jobs, and I was getting jobs from Lonely Planet to do this, do that. And I was doing I mean, mostly I did with Nat Geo. I did Kenya for them. I did Jordan for them. I did Taiwan for them. So
Amazing.
slowly it started, and also my wife Shikha, because she was a journalist, so she has a lot of good contacts. So she would always send my profile, and she was helping me in my PR. So like she had a very good friend who was taking care of HT Mint, and that at that time HT had this whole travel column in their HT Mint. So every Saturday I would do these travel stories for them.
Right.
Uh, so yeah, and all the magazines. So slowly, I think it all falls in place once you are very serious and you know that this is the path you want to take, and you are ready to put any kind of all the time and your patience into it. Slowly, it will come to you.
Okay, great. Last couple of questions. One question that I've been wanting to ask you, even off camera, actually, for a while, and I might as well ask you on camera now.
Hmm.
I want your opinion on this and think about it and tell me a little bit. Now, from a layman's perspective, we are living in an era where social media is in overdrive.
Hmm.
Your phones, your mobile phones, have
Hmm.
given so much high quality photography access in the hands of every second person.
Right.
Um, how do you view this whole development where every second person now with a decent camera phone is
Hmm.
claiming to be a photographer and is on Instagram and social media? Like, how do you view this entire thing? Is it a good development? What are its
Hmm.
advantages? What are its disadvantages? How do you view this?
See, I feel that Instagram is a very, very strong tool. And if you are a good photographer, you should use it to its advantage. I mean, now that none of the foreigners are coming into India, I started doing domestic trips wherein I'm taking people who are interested in photography within India, and all my clients are Indians right now. And I never had this audience, but it's all Instagram that I'm getting my audience from. So, it's a very strong tool, and I'm really getting very, very filtered people. So they're really interested in photography, in art, culture,
Yeah,
like
so
very
they're serious
polished.
and they're passionate.
Yes, very serious about their passion. So I don't see how otherwise I would contact them and take them on this very exclusive trips. But now it's only because of social media that I'm able to do that. So I think it's very strong. And I think if you are a good photographer, then I think you shouldn't be scared if everyone has a camera, because still, I mean, there are a lot of images, but there are only very few wow images. So
So
you have to work on those wow images. And yes, and you have to keep moving, you have to keep improving yourself. When you don't improve, when you don't go with the time, you become stagnant. That's the time when you don't go forward in life. So right now I'm also shooting a lot with my mobile, and you just have to improvise, like what else, because you have the experience that others don't have. So now you add your experience and the technology, and you create something more to to see that, okay, the what young photographers are doing, and how you can almost show them, okay, this is how you can do it. So I think it's a very, very good platform, and I'm really happy with Instagram, that how it is enabling me to do these trips, which I don't see how I would have done in this time of pandemic, especially.
right. Well, that makes perfect sense, and I know for a fact that social media and especially Instagram has been invaluable to you, and you've been using it very
Yes.
judiciously, very seriously, and very
Yes.
effectively. But tell me, this is a slightly sort of connected question only. Let's say there's a youngster, and this is happening a lot, and I can tell you
Hmm.
this because I'm teaching so many young people.
Right. Right.
There'll be a youngster, let's say in grade 10 or 11, and
Hmm.
they'll get this really fancy, Google Pixel phone or
Right.
something,
Right.
and take a few pictures, and obviously immediate family and friends around
They
you
say very
will
nice.
tell that person, "Arey yaar, you're really, really good, and
Hmm.
these pictures are superb." And then that person perhaps develops this false notion of
Hmm.
being very good, and mistaking that line or that path as their
Hmm.
passion. So I suppose I'm trying to ask you that photography may specifically, how do you figure out that yes, this is really my passion? How do you get that reality
Hmm.
check? How do you get honest feedback so that you can really figure out that you have a genuine talent and passion for it?
See, I feel I also get this question a lot, and I really feel the real answer has to come from within.
Hmm.
And I think whenever you have to choose time over money or passion over money, then it really bothers you that, okay, is it my high paying job that I want to continue, or photography? And that's the time then it will really tell you, okay, no, no, I don't, photography is just a theek hai, but I want my high paying job. So that's one thing. Then another thing is, I tell this lot to young photographers, that you should always make sure that you critique your work with a professional. I mean, if your parents or if your friends are telling this is very good, that doesn't mean anything. You have to go to a professional to see that, are you even there to start as a photographer. But I feel now another thing what is happening is, people are started making money through Instagram or through making reels and through this and that. but that also take a lot of time, patience, and you have to be very good at it. So now people have started knowing कि ठीक है ये हम कर तो रहे हैं, and then young people 10th 11th वाले, they will try for 6 months 8 months, but eventually they will know कि ये तो कुछ हो ही नहीं रहा, छोड़ो इसे. And if you're passionate, then you will keep trying and eventually it will happen. So
So
I
true.
think time is the answer. If you're putting more time, you will get better, you will do good. And a person who is just there, तो आई थिंक 6 महीने में ही उसे पता चल जाएगा कि नहीं नहीं ये नहीं हो पा रहा, and he will run
Right.
after money rather than passion.
Okay. I think there's also an aspect to this in terms of young people where, because of these so many platforms and everything can be monetized now, there's this aspect of instant and overnight fame.
Right, that's there, yes.
Yeah. So I think as long as they understand that this is that you or the voice from within, like you very correctly said, is do it for the long term and do it
Yes,
against all odds, you will know that it's your genuine passion. How true. Okay.
definitely, yes.
Okay. Now, what advice generally to young aspiring photographers from you?
I think my advice will be, first of all, you have to practice. There is no shortcut to practice. You have to practice, practice, and practice. And now that I see the new scenario, I feel that now I think it's much more easier to be a good photographer because you have so easy access to all the equipments. You can take them on rent, and now traveling has become so easy. And so now you can be more creative, you can go to all these festivals, you can do a lot more, you can make reels, you can monetize it, but at the same time there are too many people doing the same thing. I mean,
Yes.
I still remember when I started to cover all these festivals, like at Holi, it was probably just handful of us in 2008 when we were doing Holi, and now there are more photographers than people present. So yeah. So now young photographers have to see that what line they have to go in, because travel photography is very very difficult. It's so competitive now, and there are already people with so much experience, people who are very good creatively, they're making beautiful reels, they're taking beautiful pictures. So now you have to see that whether you have to do a full-time job and then take photography as a very serious hobby. That's a very good thing that a lot of people are doing, or you go into commercial photography, or you go into weddings, you can do very high end weddings. So I think, but it all boils down to how passionate you are. Like in the beginning you don't have to think about business, you just think about creating something beautiful. So if you can start with this thing that, okay, I'm not concerned about money, but I just want to create something beautiful, and if you stick to it, then eventually everything will fall in place. And if you start thinking nahi mera net geo mein kaise aayega aur main paise kaise kamaunga, then I don't think you can go far.
So true, so true. Okay, last question, Abhishek. Now, let's say there's a youngster who is a huge admirer of you and of your work and wants to possibly assist you or have you as a mentor or work under you, maybe accompany on a few trips, etc. Is that something you're open to? And if yes, how do they get in touch with you? And what are you looking for in that person? What qualities?
Yes, I think I'm always open to youngster who want to learn. And right now I have two people who assist me, and they come on my trips and they're learning from me. So I'm always open, and I just feel you just have to be, I mean, serious is not the right word, but you should be passionate towards photography and to learn. And I'm always happy to teach. There is nothing more satisfying than teaching, I feel. When you teach people, it's really nice, and you feel that it's a giving, and it's really nice to do that. So yes, I'm always reachable at my Instagram, which is images by Abhishek. You can always reach me there, and you can show me your work, and we can see how we can take it forward. But yes, we can do something together for sure.
Wonderful. That's very, very generous and gracious of you.
Thank
Great.
you.
It's been absolutely wonderful chatting. You've given me a lot of
Same
time
here, same here.
on a
Yes,
Sunday morning.
yes.
So thank you so much.
Thank you so
Um,
much.
more luck to you. I hope you
Thank you.
continue to do exceedingly well. and I will hopefully see you soon. Thank you very much.
Definitely. Thank you so much, and best of luck with your sessions. And this was really amazing.